So now what we're going to do is we're going to make another duplicate called Sky. SKY. We're gonna go ahead and put that on top on the sky texture. Boom. And then we're going to make a gradient. So let's go to gradient. And we're going to keep it black and white for now. Keep it black and white for now. And let's move it over here a bit. And we're going to use this to map it. So click on that, click on this, go to camera mapping, sky, boom. And if you look at it, we're also going to turn off tiling, so it's only affecting right there, because that's where the sky is looking. Let's save it real quick. So obviously this is not what we want, but it's okay. We're gonna rotate it up 90 degrees, so it only affects this direction. We're also going to make the focal length way bigger, but I need to see it, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the mountains and all of that. Alright, so now that we can see it, just crank it like that. We're going to crank it all the way. If it gets too big, just crank it all the way. The focal length should be 0. And then this should be, we'll just make it 1,000. Even 1,000 for now. That way there's like a horizon. So no matter what you do, it's going to be that direction. Okay, so now I'll go back here. Make it radial. Not radial, sorry. Circular. Circular. This is the horizon, so it's got to be really, really small. So alright, the horizon I think was like pink. Let's double click that, kind of make it reddish pink. And then the top, I think it was like blue-ish. You play around with it. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just render it real quick. There's no lights in the scene, that's why it was black, which is fine. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to just get rid of these, get rid of the sky, and then put the mountains and all that stuff back. And then zoom up. Oh, so when I scaled it, it scaled everything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna triangulate it one more time. Commands, triangulate. If it wants to. Commands. I'll just subdivide it. Alright, so now there's more, and now we're gonna bring down. Did I move it? I must have moved it. Without knowing, I must have moved. Yeah, I did. I moved the water up. I didn't even realize I did that. That's okay. Um, Now, what we're going to do is put the sky back on. So there we go, there's the sky. It's a nice gradient. We're going to put a light in there. We're just going to make it a spotlight. Boom. Nah. Let's make it a quick Omni Light. Move it way up here. Kind of put it over here. Right there is good. This will be the quote-unquote sun, so we're gonna make it. So we're gonna make the visible. We're gonna go shadow, make it hard, and now we're gonna just kind of render preview it real quick. So now there should be a shadow somewhere in there. There it is. So if I kind of bring the shadow, bring it down some more, you'll see more of a shadow. Alright, yeah, I'll just keep it up here. Alright, cool. And now what we're going to do is test out rendering and all that. So there's that. The next thing what we want to do is we want the sky to illuminate. So we're going to double click the sky. Illumination. It's not going to be that much, but I'll show you. I'll show you what too much is. We'll just go 1000. Basically, it takes the sky and uses that as the light. So obviously that's way too much. 500 will be too much as well, I think. I think the sweet spot is like 350. Yeah, 300. It really depends on the size of your scene. Alright, we're gonna crank this up. And not move the mouse, because every time you move the mouse, it changes. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're gonna go to our. Just gonna make it sample like that much. We're gonna just change this to a darker color. That way it's not as bright. Let's move it over here a bit. Alright, that's good. That's a good color. Now what we're gonna do with the water is gonna keep it like that. But you notice there's a hard line, a horizon line. We want something that kind of blends, so we're just gonna add some reflection. We're not gonna make it 100% like that. Make it a fall off for now. Boom. And we're gonna play around with this for now. Just kind of make it. I'm gonna bring down the quality. Alright. So we're gonna edit the for now. Move it this way. So the white is 100%, so if you change it to black, it'll go to 0. So we want it to keep, we want to see 100%. But we don't want it. Alright, cool. And then, alright, that works. And we will now, let's go ahead and let's just move this up. Let's see what it does when we move it up like that much. I'm just looking at the texture difference. That's okay. Alright. So we got the water glugging, glug 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 glug. Now it seems like it's going super crazy. So we will go to here, change the Yeah, 10%. I knew it was originally 10. But, okay, cool. We're gonna go away. One more thing. We're going to go ahead and put the interactive back on. But I only care about the mountains. So we're going to go ahead and just throw a bump on. Bump. Texture. It's just going to be a noise bump. We're going to bring this down to like 20%. Something like that. We're also going to change both of these textures from UV mapping to cubic. Alright, cool. We're going to change that to 10% bump. We're going to change that to like 5. That way there's a little grainy texture in there going on. And if you're wondering how I made the fall off in my original scene so much, I did that in post. So next, what we will do, since we're almost done, I'm just gonna create some more islands. Boom, bam. Just gonna make this one really back there, and we're gonna make it really small. Really small. Highlight all of those and make it small this direction. Alright, cool. And of course we're going to change the look and feel by changing the seed. Alright. Remember it's a, there we go. Boom. Yeah. And for this one, we're going to keep the same size, but we're just going to change the seed. Maybe move it up. Move it up, make it bigger maybe. Change how dramatic it is. I'm just going to go ahead and move the whole thing over here. Alright, now we got islands and the water's doing its thing. And we'll just render it real quick. Come on, let's do it. Oh, I have it rendering at 1020. That's probably why it's so ridiculously long. About 720p. That's okay. And notice that the island reflects as well. So another thing what we're gonna do is put some AO on there. Alright, so now I'm gonna put the interactive back on. I'm just gonna angle it down. Angle it down. Over here. Just trying to get a good camera. Okay. Go back to the water. That's looking good. Just want to see what it would look like if I did this. Just crank it all the way up. Or if I reversed it. That's okay. Alright, so what else was there to do? You could put a little boat in there and make them sail if you like. You could do some flares in post. We'll go ahead and do one more thing, which is we're going to add a cone. Add a cone, put that to 0. Change this to 5? No. 0 height, 1 height segment. 10. There we go. So change this to 5, like a 5-sided figure or something. Move it down. I'm just gonna kind of put it in there somewhere. We're gonna duplicate the mountain. Put that in there. We're gonna change this to brown. That way there's brown mountain peaks and what's it called? Brown and green. So just kind of putting them in there, putting them in there. We're also going to take this brown and add like a beach to each of them. So move it down. We're gonna go to the first one. Should have named these islands, not mountains. That's okay. So we're gonna grab this. We're gonna go to select ring. So selects everything. Selection, set selection, and then we're going to duplicate this. Call it sand. Put this on here. But we're also going to change it so it's kind of lighter. And then under here, under where it says selection, click and drag this onto that. So now there's like a little beach. So if I click off of it, there's a little beach. And we'll do the same for this and for this. So we're going to go ahead and click this button so it brings it down so it's easier for me. Ring. Set selection. Boom. Bam. Done. The last one. Boom. Bam. What we could do is just copy this, and it'll copy the word polygon selection, and it just so happens this is called polygon selection as well. So, bam, and it should be good. Come on, click off. So, let's just render it real quick, see how it looks. And if you fool around with it some more, try to get things where you want it, you can turn out like this. Actually, let this render real quick. Render. Okay, so now you got these islands, super quick islands, and with a lot of adjustment, you can make something like this. So, of course, I had a separate object for the beach, the cliffs, the roads. All of these were adjusted the way I said before, which was I took edit polys and moved them everywhere, and of course they weren't all one mesh like these are. There are multiple meshes, color is different of course. So the background, it looks like I did like a purple to a pink. Real quick, if you notice that it's it's falling off a lot less hard than it did here. That's because, like I said earlier, I did that in post. This is a depth map. So anything beyond the word lighthouse, if you even look at the clouds, they're blurred out. Same thing here. It's all blurred out. So it gives you the even this guy's blurred out. So it gives you the illusion that it blends together. But if I didn't have that, it did look like this. The sky, obviously, different color, but it did look like a hard line. I just blurred it out. Okay, guys, so this is the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Have fun with it. You can do anything with this kind of style. You can check us out at www.ragdollanimation.com. You can also follow us on any of our social medias. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that. If you want to keep up to date with everything that we do. We normally do a tutorial every week in Cinema 4D or 3D Studio Max. And I hope you have a good one.